This is Damon Stevens with Finwell Builders. Today is Sunday, April 24th, 2022. This stock market update for trades of the day. Closing out last week, closed out nice and strong to the downside. So for your long-term position, it wasn't not such a nice day, but for those who were day traders or scalpers, hopefully you got a piece of the action on the way down here. So now the question is how far down do we go before we get a nice little bounce here? So let's get into some charts, see if we can find out, what possibly to expect this week, and see if we can figure out how to make some money. So let's get more into it right now. Just know that we're not financial advisors. These are the trades that we're looking at. So make sure you're trading responsibly and make sure the trades are yours. If you want to join our free Discord where we post numbers pre-market, join us, go to finwealthlive.com and you'll find a link there to join our Discord, as well as a link to free training that we have out there as well, and a membership. So take a look at it, join us, and let's make some money together. Looking at the market, you can see here, we closed out the week nice and red. So you can see Dow Jones closed down 2.82%, and NASDAQ down 2.55%, and S&P 500 down 2.77%. So a huge drop, in one day. So, you see here, it just kind of trended down all day long. So if you started shorting the market at the beginning, whether it was the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500, you just had a nice trickle down to lower numbers here. You see just red across the board. So if you're watching, any charting systems or what have you, you may have seen it turn red across the board. When you see that, definitely means, to be cautious out there and either stay on the sidelines or, there's good shorting opportunities. We did though have a small cap here, VLON, that decided to go against the market. VLON is a stock that we've traded in the past, and it had a nice little bump today on Friday. Here you can see the low was $1.13, and then bounced clear up to 267, pulled back, mid-morning here down to 186, and it got a nice rally back up to 230, 226 here in the afternoon. Actually, 236 was a spike, 226 where it's set. So it's above all the moving averages. Had a little bounce here, broke out of this little downward trend line that we're in. And it held, so we'll see. It's either come down and bounce back down off this trend line and break through, possibly even, or it might get another rally through here, hopefully above 267. So we're going to watch it on Monday, just see what the price action looks like on pre-market, to see if this looks like it's going to give us another play. If not, this could have just been, another just one-time shot on this, but it did stay up. So that's usually a nice bullish sign and a possibility for another play. Look at earnings. This can be a huge earnings week, lots of volatility. So just be prepared. Either, you play in the market or stay on the sidelines if you're not quite sure. But there'll be a lot of opportunity here. You can see starting out this week, we have Coca-Cola reporting. We have Microsoft, Google, UPS, Visa, Facebook, which is Meta. We got PayPal, Ford, Boeing, so Spotify. So just a huge tech week. And so depending on what the tech say, this could be, you see a lot of volatility because, some of these are reporting good earnings. It could possibly swing the market, upwards. And then if some of them report, bad earnings, it could swing the market, down further. So, it's going to be hard to say because we're not quite sure what the earnings are going to be, but this is a busy week in a time where the market is down or headed down. So just be really careful out there and just be prepared to play both sides of the market or to sit on the sidelines and just hold your cash so that you can wait till you can see how the market shakes out over this, at least this week. You can see that this week is probably our heaviest week for the stocks that can possibly swing the market the most. And then from there, we have a few others, the rest of this month, maybe going into next month, but heavy week. So just letting you know what's going on in case you're wondering why there's so much volatility in the market. So Netflix, you can see here, Netflix, broke down through almost all the moving averages. It's got the 200 here, a support at 181.54 on a monthly chart. So, and I went to a month on this one just so you could see where the next support level could be. Because if you go to a daily chart, let me just flip back over to daily, you just see a downside here. And really it's just kind of riding along the trend line here. So 300 is really kind of the support, possibly on this chart here on a daily. 300 would be your last line of support. And then if you go to a weekly chart on Netflix, you can see we're below all the moving averages. So 204 could be a possible area of a pivot support. You see there's nothing below. So for a while, we're on a monthly, you can see here, you actually got the 200 moving average on the monthly chart at 181. So looking for, a range, possibly, that 181, or back on a daily chart, looking at, this, some type of support around, the lows where we're at right now. But you see here's the trend lines. Here's a lower trend line. See, we're kind of down here, broken out. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to keep this on a monthly basis for at least my use here, just so I can see if we get any type of support on that monthly level, especially as we come into the end of this month. Looking at Apple, you can see on a daily chart, we're swinging down here past all the moving averages down towards the 200. So 200 could possibly give support here at 157.85 and get a little bit of bounce. If not, we have our trend line down at 154, or we have a pivot line down here at 150. So if Apple continues to sell off and continues this downward slope, those are some areas where we could possibly get a bounce, looking for continuation play until we get there. Looking at BABA, you can see here came down here and bounced off of 73.28, came up, hit their top trend line. It's now headed down towards the bottom trend line again. There's a couple pivots down here. We could possibly bounce off this 82 level, find support. And this is a little gap right here they could fill. Or, we could come down here and possibly try to do a double bottom here. If not, we obviously could be coming down here and just continue to trend lower and down our trend line, because you see we're downward sloping. So just something to be cautious with BABA, but definitely more on the south side here. NVIDIA broken. You can see here we're just continuing to trend down, broke through this little wedge here off of our bottom support line, still heading down south. So there's a pivot down at 178 where the market's pivoted before. If we go to a weekly chart, it could be maybe it's the weekly chart that we're using here, where you get a bounce maybe around this 188 level, which is where the 100 is on a weekly chart. We also have the 200 down here at 139. So, could possibly get a bounce off of any of these levels, but you can see, regardless, we are heading downward, and we're very bearish on that. On Tesla, on a daily chart, we were above all the moving averages, and we came down, obviously found resistance. So we're kind of hovering in this range area. So we could become range bound here, but we could also, if we lose the support level on the 50 moving average at 975, we could start to come down and break down through these levels here. But we do have support at 954 and also 893. If we break through that, then we can come down here to our lower pivots and also our trend line. So seeing if we're range bound, you can see that we kind of bounced off this level here. So that 50 moving average will hopefully be support. You have the 20 here that we just barely closed, kind of like right on. So looking for a continuation play if we break above 1,005. If not, looking for support here at 975. And if we break lower, then looking for some more downward movement here. So just watching Tesla to see, but just consider, you could get some consolidation here for a little bit. All right, so Amazon, you see here, nice sell off as well. Very bearish movement here. Really, the next, good level of support would be probably down here, close to the bottom of these candles here, around this 2850 area. If not, down here at 2780. We break that, could be coming down towards, again, all the way back down towards this trend line. If I take this out onto a weekly chart from a daily chart, just to get a view, you can see the 200 moving average on daily chart is, closer around down to this 2600 area. And it's possible we have a pivot right where we're at right now. Like a bounce off, and that's at 2881. You see, we were 2871 here. You see that that's kind of where we broke out before higher. So there's a few spots here, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. From a weekly perspective, kind of like right where we're at now, we could bounce. But if we break this line on Monday or Tuesday, 2881, obviously, just coming down south. So just be prepared. But just want to give you an idea of where some of those other levels are. Oxy just consolidating for a long time now. It's showing some weakness where it could possibly break through this level. But you can see we've just been kind of back and forth for a few weeks here, and showing a little sign of weakness again. So do we break through? If we do break through kind of this 56 area, it could be coming down to the 50 moving average here at 53. Break that down 47. We can break out above 63.24, then we have it possible to rally back up towards highs again. Bank of America, again, if your financials are weak, you're going to see other things being weak. And I can kind of, add another trend line in here just so you can kind of see where we potentially could be headed. And so you can see here we're below everything. So we could have possibly put in a double bottom, but we put in a lower low here, and then we came down and we've kind of just right almost even. So could it bounce off of here? It's possible, but unless we get above this $39 area and head up towards these moving averages, more likely we have more downside on Bank of America. So just be aware of that. So, and continue to subscribe, like our videos, and hopefully these bring help. And if they are helping you out, definitely continue to watch these videos, share them, and continue to follow with us. And let's make some money together on this market, regardless of what direction it's going. There's always opportunities. All right, let's look at 10-year yield. You can see here we're consolidating. So we'll just kind of, I'll put the line up here just so you can kind of see. So we really got to break above, this 290 to kind of move up, break out again. And otherwise we break back down to this little channel here that we had. So just a little consolidation here for a week. We'll see if that continues or if it continues to accelerate higher. You can see the US dollar here. We did elevate it. We were at 101, a little bit over 101, 101.50, and pull back a little bit. So, do we, stay in this little channel here, or are you going to see that dollar elevated, which, can impact, the market and inflating that dollar definitely can have a negative impact on areas of our market. So we'll see what happens. You see here the VIX, decided to go ahead and spike for us. And that created the downwards movement that we had on Friday and just accelerated it. And we've talked about this multiple times in our videos. Anything over 20, you're going to start to see the market, either consolidate or start to turn down. Anything over 25 accelerates that. This line in the sand I have here, 28 area, we're almost to it. If we break this area and head up towards, more 30, 35, we're up towards these highs again. Then we could, continue to see the downside. But unless this turns down and pre-market overnight tonight, we could continue to move down. We really got to get this back down here. But this spike and this volatility means fear is moving back in the market, which means more money is going to come off. So here's the SPY, and here you can see where the sell-off, and we had this failure. We talked about this consolidation here, and almost every day it was like back and forth. And this was a failed breakthrough, right? Breakdown and a recovery. And then we had a failed breakout. And then we, from there, we've just fell down. So we're down here. Here's our lower trend line. So we're right above it. So and this is on a daily chart. So if we break this little low level tomorrow, and get here, and we start hovering in support, down below 424, then we have downward slope now down towards this 409. We get back where we were in February. So this was a low here. If we break this low, we're making new lows. So, there could be a lot more downward momentum. Or this lower trend line here, secondary line we have here is around 400. So, we could fall into this range as well. So looking for, play in the morning, we break above this 424 area, we maybe will have, basically a recovery of this area, of this downward momentum on Friday. If we continue to hold under 424, look for a continuation play, probably more likely down to 410 over the next few days or a week, or maybe even 2 weeks down, depending on how long. But we have had heavy sell-off before in the past, so that's a possibility as well here. But hopefully we can hold support and have a great positive week here. And just another view here, this is display on the weekly, just so you can kind of see. Here's our trend line on the weekly, and you see, if I zoom out here a little bit, you see 412 is kind of 212 is where we were at. Now, this is back here in April 2020, and we've tagged that line here. We had 2 days along this trend line, bounced off of it, and you see we're right back to it again. And so again, this area, this kind of shows you on a weekly and a daily perspective how important we are at this line on both charts. So hopefully we can hold this line and bounce off of here, and maybe just, even if we just hold this line on the way up, eventually could possibly break out to highs. But if we break this line on both the daily and the weekly, then just watch for continued downward movement here. On triple Qs, you can see here, it looked like a almost double bottom here, but just a lower low, but it did bounce up and came down, and now you have this little curve right here coming back down. And so looking for support probably around that same level. There's a pivot around 323, but if we don't bounce off of where we're at tomorrow, then look for a continuation play, possibly down to 317, maybe even a little bit lower. And that would be our next chance for a bounce. Semiconductors, we're right there. We're at lower lows right now from where we were before. You see 237 is where we had the last bounce. So we're below that. So we'll see if we can get a bounce from here. If so, there's a chance that we could have a double bottom put in here. But if not, then we have some gaps right here. So we could fill possibly the gap here down to 232, or come down here and start filling these gaps around 221. So just kind of looking for the price action to see, where the semiconductors can find, good support. Dow Jones. So Dow Jones has got, a few gaps to fill as well. But we could, if we break this line where we're at right now, which is really, you see this breakdown candle here at 338, can't bounce off of here. Then you have all this consolidation area that happened here. So the next level down would be, this 330 area. If not, then we have the gap starting at 327 area, and possibly down to 321 if we're going to double bottom here. So look, that there's definitely downwards movement here that could happen, but we could also, find consolidation in this area here. So just watch and see what the price action brings tomorrow. IWM. So, could we bounce possibly around this 190, 150? It's possible that we could find support there. We're just barely above that. Again, you see, the SPY, triple Qs, IWM, they're all sitting just barely above a pivot or support area. So they could either bounce through that, blow through it. They could jump over this area, and open much below and gap below it. So just kind of watching Monday to see what happens. If we open up higher, it's possible that we could possibly retrace this candle and then still fell. So just be careful out there. We do got to have a couple day close in the upper direction before we know that we're hopefully turn around. But right now we have 2 days down, headed down, so it's very likely that we could see more of that. So just be careful. Watch the price action. Watch the VIX tomorrow morning, so you can see where we're going to head. Financials, you can see that as well. We're close to hitting this bottom. If we bounce off of 335.35, we could possibly rally back up and recover. If not, if we break below it in this lower trend line and our support line, then we could be heading further south here. And the next line down here looks like 33.90. So looking for a support here, or a break up back above this 37 area. Look at XLE for energy. So you can see here, finally broke below the 20. We broke below the 20, headed towards the 50s, our next support. That's at 74.20. So hopefully get a bounce here. And you see that we kind of recovered from it before, when we were between the 20 and the 50 moving averages. So we'll see if that can hold this again. If we break below the 50, then we could be coming down, much lower. If we can get back above, 79, hopefully we can start to rally back up towards these highs. Looking at healthcare had a big old sell-off as well. I don't like it. It broke through the 20, the 50, and the 100, closed just barely below the 100. So we got to get really back above that 100 level. If we get to 134 and stay above that tomorrow, we can maybe rally back up. If not, you can see here we have the 200 down here at 130.67 and gaps below to fill as well. So we'll see what the healthcare can do as far as trying to bounce up here. So a lot of the market depends on what happens on that open in that pre-market to kind of show us what direction we're going to be heading, and if we have more sell-off. Gold, you see consolidation. You can see all this consolidation. We had this nice little spike up here back in March, and we've just been consolidating here, but we're in this range. So you see this is a very tight support. Obviously, you have nice tight resistance up here that we failed to break through. We're coming back down. We're on that 50. It's holding as well. As long as we continue to hold that 50, maybe we can bounce up here, but we got to break out of this 1977 level to break up towards those highs again. If we break down below the 50, we very well could come down here to the 100, which is around 1892 right now, and find support and bounce there. So just watching gold, possibly for long-term consolidation, where we've been for a few weeks. Bitcoin consolidation here as well. It's down towards the bottom of that consolidation, so we've got to be really cautious here. If it breaks this 39,000, it very well could come down here to 38. If it breaks that, then 37, 36. I could put a line out here just so you have an idea. So this could be a range right here that we could fall in. You can see here that this is kind of an area where we consolidated and broke out. Looking at Ethereum, you can see Ethereum that we're in this consolidation area. So we're just kind of back and forth. As long as we don't break below, it's 2880. If we do, we have kind of a long downturn down towards 2445. But otherwise, just consolidating, trying to find direction and building up energy for one direction or the other. Luna, you can see Luna, pulled back here, found support, bounced up, failed. It's below the 20 and just above the 50. So we're kind of sandwiched right now. So looking for, breakout, above the 20 at $59 at 91.59 and run back up here towards 104. If we break below the support line here around 89.86, then we could have some downward slide down to the 100. If we break that, you have support at 976 and then at 69.50 on the 200. So, just be cautious in the market right now. Definitely, if you're looking for day trades, there's plenty of volatility. So just be careful out there in your trading. We're posting numbers in the morning to show you, regardless if we're going up or down, we're showing you the numbers as far as what we're looking to trade, and hopefully just stay safe out there, and keep there's opportunities for long-term plays here as well. So just be aware of it. Try not to go all in, but again, it's not financial advice, but just take it easy out there. We'll talk Monday night, see how the trading went for the day, what the setup's going to be for Tuesday, or turnaround Tuesday, and we'll go from there. Everybody have a great night. Have a great rest of the weekend. Take care.